Hi, welcome to the podcast, and thank you for listening. And as I'm here, and I'm literally, to be honest, I personally, I do have things, I do believe that, when you're asking God for help, and when you're asking to be led by the Spirit, and when you say you're surrendering yourself to God, meaning your life, your body, your soul, your heart, even the possession that you have, your children, your well-being, everything pertaining to your life, and you're pure and you're genuine about it. I believe that the Lord do move according to his word, because he said that his word will not come back to him void. And I'm realizing that the word is God, and that we're speaking spirit. So whatever come out of our mouth, we reap what we reap what we say. So I wanted to share something with you that's been in my mind, that's been in my spirit, really. I'm going to read a passage from Jeremiah from chapter 3, verses 11 through 14, really. It says, "And the Lord said unto me, the backsliding Israel have justified herself more than treacherous Judah. Go and proclaim these words towards the north, and say, Return thou backsliding Israel, saith the Lord, and I will not cause my anger to fall upon you, for I am merciful, saith the Lord, and I will not keep anger forever. Only acknowledge thine iniquity, that thou hast transgressed against the Lord thy God, and hast scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, saith the Lord. Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you, and I will make you one of a city, and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion." And that's a partial reading of the word. This is really, Jeremiah chapter 3, verses 11 and 14. And the word the word came to me to talk about backsliding. Not just talk about it, but, it really came into the title backsliding, because we know a lot of us, especially us in the faith, we really are backsliding. We're turning back. We're worshiping idols. And your idols could be anything, which is your job, your car, this world, the cares of this world, even yourself. And God is saying that we, come back to him. He's married to the backsliders. We've heard this before in the past. Those of us who've heard people say that, especially in the word, that, the Lord is married to the backsliders. And that is the word. That's really verse 14 of Jeremiah, 3 and 14. But I want to say this: God is calling the church to come back from our wicked ways, to turn back to him with our whole heart, with our whole soul and mind, to trust him, to put our hope in him, to be steadfast in him, to believe he is who he is, and that he is that I am, and that he owns everything. He's in control. Because the thing that's going on, everything's going on. Wars happening, famine, and a lot is going on. But this is not the time for the church to contemplate, to go, saying that, this is hard. Let me go back to the way it used to be. Let me go back to my way of living. Let me go back to my way of thinking and my way of doing things. Because when you think about it, if you talk about my, all I hear, when you hear my, you're talking about yourself. It's a form of selfishness and arrogance and pride. Because you're called to be set apart, to be different. And you're called to be, called by God to do many great things in the land of the living. It may not be, grand, like being on a pulpit or anything like that. But you're called to be, to be the matriarch of your family, to be the curse breaker of your family, to be the the atmosphere shifter in your family, or to be the one that's doing something that your family never done, to be to be that who God called you to be, so that your light will shine, because you're called and you have souls attached to you that are waiting for you. And remember, it says in the word that many are the plans of a man's heart, but it's the Lord counsel that will stand. And once you said yes to Jesus, you're saying yes with your whole life. This is not a game. Life is not a game. We're living, we are living in these dying times. These are the last days, and his coming is near. This is not the time to think about, oh, it was better when I was in the world. It was this and that. I had fun. I had pleasure. But truth be told, pleasure don't last always. And when you're thinking about it, the pleasure of the world is wicked. It's tainted. It's nasty, to be honest. It doesn't bring you fulfillment. Think about it. I'm gonna use myself for an example. Not for an example. I'm gonna give you a testimony. When I was in the world, I was lost and confused. I didn't know if there was really a God, to be honest. And I didn't know what to do really. I was having sex with my son's father at the time. Still having sex, out of marriage, because, that time I wasn't married, fornicating. Even when I was backsliding, I was fornicating. And when I think about these things, it really made me feel ashamed, knowing that, I serve a holy and righteous God. He didn't ask me to he didn't force himself on me really. Because all he asks is that we turn from our wicked ways, and that, we don't harden our hearts to him, that we surrender all to him and give it all to him. He's not asking us to, to forsake, he is asking us to forsake wickedness and sin, but he's not asking us to forsake ourselves. Because the word say, come as you are. It say, render your hearts, not your garments. Meaning that, you're not rendering the things of, it's not about how you look. It's not about the way you dress. Because even when I ask my, my natural sisters to come with me to to church, just to worship, she think about it wrong. Because people in the world think that when you ask them to go to church, that, you're telling them to be, to be dressed a certain way and act a certain. No, the word say, come as you are. We don't serve a religious God. We serve a gracious and merciful God. It says it here in the word as well, that he is merciful. He is gracious. He is patient with us. But, I have to say this, time is running out, when the Lord is going to put on his appearance and come down. And, and judgment is coming to the house of God. And, those of you who are backsliding, who are, who back in the world, take a good look at your surroundings. You may be laughing at that moment, but how is it that you're looking into the world and not seeing how many souls are dying daily? The soul is dying. The spiritual man in that person is dying. Because remember, we're not of the physical. We're spiritual. Everything is spirit led. So I'm here just to talk about, those of us who are in the world and backsliding. If you're listening to this message, this is an encouragement for you to come back to your senses. Come back. Come back to the Father. It is scary. It is. Because I also read in Isaiah that hell is enlarging her mouth daily. Hell is real. And I'm just saying this, you have to humble your heart, yourself. And I remember the word of Chronicles, as my spiritual sisters and brothers was, praying in a prayer line, I'm usually under, that if my people that is called by my name will humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear the prayers in heaven. He will hear our prayers. But there's a condition. We have to turn from our wicked ways. We do. So I want to say God bless you and thank you for listening. And I love you.